Can performance on the ground truly defeat the influence of local political structures and deep-seated religious sentiment in a state like Osun State? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Uba's Trending Gist. The political temperature in Osun State is already reaching a boiling point. The All Progressive Congress (APC) has put forward Bola Oyebamiji, popularly known as Ambo, to challenge the incumbent dancing governor Adeleke. What makes this discussion so intense right now is a recent analysis on TVC's journalist Hangout. We have two of Nigeria's most seasoned media voices, Babajide, Kolade-Otitoju, and Asoko James, weighing in on whether Governor Adeleke's bulldozer persona can withstand the calculated grassroots strategy being deployed by the APC. This isn't just about who can dance better or who can shout the loudest on social media. This is about the raw mechanics of the Nigerian politics, religion, infrastructure, and the mysterious federal might. Before I dive into my detailed analysis and tell you why I think the analysts were spot on, you need to hear exactly what was said. Watch the clip carefully, and immediately after it ends, I will return with my detailed analysis, critical observations, and my personal takes on everything that was said. And after that, I would also love to get your own perspective right inside the comment section. Don't go away, sit back and watch this.
All right, you're welcome back. If you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have BKO right here and Asukwo James. So straight to our next conversation. The stage is now set for a titanic governorship contest in Osun State on Saturday, and the gladiators are talking tough. The All Progressives Congress APC governorship candidate Bola Oyebamiji has expressed confidence in his chances of defeating incumbent Governor Adeleke in the election. Oyebamiji, popularly known as Ambo, said he has embarked on extensive consultations across the state to win, as residents are ready for a change in government. On the other hand, the governor and the Accord Party candidate Adeleke declared that he is not intimidated by federal might. Okay, the APC candidate has said a lot of things, but let's break it down one after the other. Oyebamiji has dismissed Governor Adeleke's popularity in the state.
Yes.
From the feelers on ground, how valid is this claim?
Yeah, you see, the truth is both men are popular.
Okay.
And that's why this election will be highly competitive. If you watched the issues with Jide that I did on Saturday, I talked about the fact that the election will be very close. I didn't say who will win. I talked about Oyebamiji, somebody who has built about 77 mosques and 20-something churches. He also built the Khan headquarters in the Rewole local government. As you can expect, a lot of the people who sit on Twitter or X that they call them, they have no capacity to think deep. They just scratch things on the surface. And that is why even their heroes who sit in TV stations saying all kinds of things, they are just similar to those boys on Twitter. Lack of a capacity to think deeply. Saying that somebody has built mosque is just my way of saying, look, in this election, religion will play a part. I know that that is what will happen. The Yorubas will say, if it doesn't happen, come for all minimum. So instead of sitting on Twitter, you don't go anywhere. You cannot investigate anything. You can't write a story to save your life. But everything that we say is subjected to scrutiny by people who even lack the capacity to think straight. So that's not like saying, oh, it is religion that will carry the day. I like to talk to people who can think. It is saying that it will be one of the factors.
Yes.
I spoke at length about what the governor has done that in places where they never had dual carriageways, he took dual carriageways to them. But the thinking of our little boys on X and other social media platforms is they are too lazy to even read comprehensively. So if somebody is talking about the things that Adeleke has done, is taking dual carriageway to this place, that place, places where they never imagined that they will have dual carriageway. How do you begin to think that Babajide doesn't like him? It makes no sense to reason like that. We have decided to say, okay, we'll stay in the middle.
Yes.
And you ask me a question, my answer is both men are popular, and the election will be close. No one should dismiss another one that, he has no popularity. No. Whoever says that is dishonest. And if Adeleke says, look, Oyebamiji is not popular, I'm going to crush him, that will be dishonest because he's dealing with a strong candidate as well. A lot of factors will favor Oyebamiji.
Yes.
A lot of factors will also favor the governor. And both of them will do well in areas where they are strong. And in areas where people have made up their minds that, we don't want this particular candidate. To begin to campaign to them even now will be a waste of time because the people have made up their minds
already.
So it sets the stage for what will be a king contest. A king contest that could go either way. And we've seen that happen before. In 2018.
Okay.
Where the margin of victory was less than 2%. Somebody won with 1 point something above the other person, 1 point something percent above the other person.
Very slim.
I've not seen an election that close. It reminds me of the governorship election in Sokoto. The second term of Governor Tambua.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have just about 300 and something votes separated the winner from the loser. So this is the kind of election that we are going to see in Osun. The people who think that it is on social media that people vote, they are already imagining in their dreams that this will be a straight contest for one of the candidates. Nothing can be more foolish than that. This is not going to be a straight win for anybody. You can imagine that on social media, where events are far from reality. But this is an election that will be very keenly contested. I said it that religion will play a part.
Yes.
Of course it will. I hold on to it. I don't take back the things that I said. If I didn't take back what I said about the River State, if I didn't take it back that the president was wrong, or that I did not agree that the president should impose a state of emergency, if I didn't take it back, on 6 different occasions on journalist Hangout, I said I stood by it. Some people sat inside their studio. They don't go anywhere. They just sit there and spew rumors and abuse people. People who are superior to them, they like to diminish those people. So for me, it is what I see. And by the grace of God, we hardly get it wrong. Because there's no sentiment about it. I said yesterday that the governor of Osun State knows that I have nothing against him. He knows it. Because there's nothing I've said that suggested that I don't want him to win. Or that I'm rooting for him. No, I've never met him in my life. I see him dance all over the place. I've never met him at an event. If I meet him at an event, I will challenge him to a dancing competition and I will defeat him. But that's not happened. Yeah. We have not had that situation. He's boasting that he can defeat people in dancing. Not me. Except I will just leave him alone. That is an Egmonya, go and win.
Yeah, I saw BKO do stuff.
If I want to face him in a dancing contest, there's no way Adeleke will defeat me. Okay. I can almost swear to God about it. If I want.
Okay. All right.
In politics, yes. I
But
cannot.
who are you putting your money on?
He's a master.
No.
The governor and BK. Who are you putting your money on? The governor and BK dance
because
competition.
I've seen both of them dance, you know, but I'll definitely go with my organ.
All right,
The
but
governor
now,
has only one dancing
Yeah,
style.
that is just one.
Just one dancing style.
okay. Now, he also went on to say that Osun people, they are ready for change. Now, as the APC candidate, has he actually offered an alternative agenda for the people of Osun?
Well, I have listened to him, you know, a couple of times, and I've heard some of the things that he have said,
Yes.
and most of them is tailored towards how to, you know, bring people out of poverty, you know, and creating jobs. I've been to Osun. 4 years ago, I was in Osun, you know, during the election.
Okay.
You know, so I know why he's, you know, tailoring his own campaign slogan to, you know, job creation and trying to bring people out. Empowerment, he was very particular about empowerment. And so I think he actually focused more on women and the youth,
Okay.
from what I heard him say. And if you are looking at that, you know that he has already, you know, he has like a blueprint of what he wants to do.
Okay.
So it's left for the Osun people to begin to look at who will be able to, because I know most people, last year, 4 years ago or
Yes.
3 years ago, it was more about salaries, you know. But I think they've gone past salary issue. Now, it is supposed to be based on issues.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think the APC governorship candidate was able to say, okay, this is what, you know, is lacking, and this is what I'm trying to offer.
Okay.
And that is where the difference is. You know, I'm not here, just like BK was, I will not say that his campaign slogan, you know, outshadows that of the governor. Because the governor also has things that he can say. Like infrastructure, for instance. There were some places that you cannot enter in Osun.
Okay.
But the governor came and he built roads and also bridges.
Now, talking about the
understand?
governor has described himself as the bulldozer, and he's not afraid of federal might. Looking at what he said, is it simply political bravado, or does he genuinely have the grassroots support, you know, to withstand the APC national structure?
What he's saying is that he's confident that President Tinubu will not get involved.
Be neutral. On
He knows.
He knows.
He knows. Because this is a precedent that he has adopted.
Okay.
He adopted President Tinubu for president in a second term a long time ago, even before he left the PDP.
Okay.
Now, after he joined the PDP, he also ensured that Accord Party does not have a presidential candidate. He is convinced that President Tinubu will do what happened in Anambra.
Okay.
He will not use federal might. I see Dele Momodu saying this contest is between President Tinubu and this. What kind of talk is that? This president knows that Adeleke is backing him to the hilt in the presidential election.
Yes.
He knows that. And frankly, President Tinubu wanted Adeleke to join the APC. He was ready to welcome him. But he didn't want to impose anyone on the party in the state, the legacy members. Since he saw that they were not interested in having Adeleke join them, because if Adeleke joined them, he will now take over the structures. What we are seeing in Delta is what they will now be seeing. Where legacy members will now be grumbling that, oh, they've taken our position. So rather than collaboration, it's now a takeover that is happening.
Okay.
So Adeleke knows in his heart that President Tinubu is minded to allow the election to go in a very fair manner. He's not going to tell his party members not to give their best.
Okay.
But in his heart, he's keen to do what he did in Anambra.
Okay.
Soludo won the election. despite the fact that an APC was on the
ballot. That's true.
The president didn't get involved. Jonathan also did that for Oshomole. He never got involved. The moment Oshomole won the election, the first place he visited was Aso Villa to thank President Jonathan for not stepping in. So when he's saying that he's not afraid of federal might, it's because he knows that President Tinubu will not use federal might against him. That is an inner conviction that he has. But people will interpret things in different ways. What will President Tinubu gain, for example, to go and force his party on the people of Osun? What will he gain? When even the person who is the governor there is his supporter. So I don't know how people like Modele Momodu will be saying it is between Oyebamiji and Governor Adeleke. Leave the president out of it. Exactly. Everything, we bring the president into everything.
Exactly.
We bring the president to everything.
Maybe he's trying to get the president's
attention. I don't understand. So that if, for example, Adeleke is unable to win, they will say it's the president.
There's a excuse already.
The president has stepped in. And the president knows that both the votes of Adeleke supporters and the votes of APC supporters are going to be useful to him
in 2027.
In 2027, and 2027 is not far away. If certain things happen now, those guys have to be defeated hands down. If you don't defeat them hands down, you will be losing a critical support base, which the governor has not pretended about. This is what Adele Momodu refuses to talk about. There is, the fact is that this person and the president, they're on the same page in the presidential election of 2027. He has not pretended about it. That is why some people in Accord are saying that Adeleke is playing, he's doing anti-party. So the president is an artful politician. He knows that, and let me tell you, across party lines, the president has support. There are people that you see them, they wear the garb of opposition, but there is people. He's always had that in his locker.
Yes.
I know this president very well. He's always had that in his locker. You won't know that those people are his supporters. But on election day, they will work for him. There are things I can't say here.
Yeah, I know.
I can mention people in Lagos PDP that I know who over the years, they were staunch PDP members, but on election day, they work for Asiwaju. God is my judge, if I'm lying. So the president knows how to play that game. Get even critical people within the opposition to work for him. Many of us may not know, but Asiwaju does not have anything against Adeleke. And he will be happy to harvest Adeleke's support and the support of his own staunch and the votes of his own staunch supporters
support base,
in that election that is coming. But they will not lose sight of the fact that these are two political parties contesting against one another. He's not going to stop his own party from doing his best. But as a president,
he will not.
Contrary to what Dele Momodu is saying, that it's a contest. No. This president is not in a contest with Adeleke. He's in a contest with Oyebamiji, with Father Onsi, with Wale. And you can see the people that the governor has been abusing in the state. They are the people who are his rivals. So those are the people who will give the governor a run for his money. Because these are strong people who used to be on his side, who used to win elections for him, who are now in the APC side. So you'll get the point that I'm making.
I get you. Still talking about the issue of federal might. Oyebamiji also says that he's not relying on federal might. What do you have to say to that?
No, definitely he will tell you that he's not relying on federal might. And I'm not sure he has, there's anything that suggests that anyway, because if you are saying federal might, are you talking in terms of the police?
Okay.
And because the police have assured that they are going to be fair, okay? And INEC, definitely they are going to be fair. But if you are talking about federal might in terms of maybe sending maybe the president of the Senate, you know, is a party member.
Okay, so those ones,
they are supporting their
they are
party.
supporting their party.
So those ones will come and they would also support him. So if he's saying that he's going to get federal might based on those people are party
those
members.
people who are coming.
But in terms of other variables, like maybe INEC and police and co, I'm not sure those ones will be involved because they will be fair. Just because the president is saying that I'll be, but the president's hands will be like this. He will not be involved in it. You understand? Go there, go to the battlefield.
Exactly.
You know, go there, do your war, and whoever wins, you know, the INEC will announce. It's going to be a tough contest, honestly.
How many?
It's going to be a tough
We've had
contest.
a number of off-season elections since President Tinubu came into office. How
Yeah.
many of those elections
Has he been
rigged?
involved? You know?
How many of them?
Because
has he
people
rigged?
keep saying rigging. Which one?
He became head of state. I mean, became president. After he became head of state, some of those governors, opposition parties, they went as far as Supreme Court and defeated the APC.
Yeah, the APC.
Yet they will tell us that, oh, Tinubu has put the judiciary in his pocket.
Exactly.
If he put judiciary in his pocket, why didn't he reverse the governorship, judgment in respect of Plateau, for example?
Okay. Okay.
Why didn't he reverse it? Whereas in that same state, based on the same legal principle, National Assembly members lost their positions.
Exactly.
Oh.
Why didn't the president get involved and give it to his party member? Why didn't the president get involved and take Kano? Kano.
NMPP there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Kano, they had already lost at appeal
Yes.
court.
Appeal.
They lost at appeal court. Why didn't the president, since he had Supreme Court in his pocket,
judiciary.
why didn't he tell them, since they've lost at appeal, let them lose again at
The
Supreme Court? People say these things, they can't defend these things with facts. It's just propaganda, make all the noise. So Oyebamiji believes that in terms of the mobilization that he has done, he can win the election. And I can tell you, if they didn't think they could win the election, they will not block Adeleke from coming into the APC. They believe that
Yeah,
at this time,
exactly.
because they looked at the big people who had
that they
defected.
have, with the number of governors that they have.
No, I mean, we're talking within
Okay,
the state.
people within the state.
Yes.
Okay.
People like Babajide and all of them.
Yeah.
These are people who used to determine electoral outcomes in their constituencies. Wale Oke is probably going for a system now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been undefeatable in that place. The only time he lost was during the Arebeshola tsunami.
Okay.
Yes, he's always won any election in that Obokun area. And he's now on the side of Oyebamiji. Why won't you, if you were in Oyebamiji's shoes, why won't you think you can win the election?
Exactly.
And even win in an impressive manner if you have such big people on your side? Because people say, oh, being power, the people, it is the people that will versus the APC.
president.
So it's Ghanaians who have been voting before. In Nigeria, it is Nigerian versus APC. Oh, so in the past, it is people from Botswana that used to come and vote against. In our country, as I've made this clear many times, political leaders, power people in politics, they determine electoral outcomes.
Yeah.
Baba Olusola Saraki did that for many years before he passed on. The only time he's remembered to have lost an election was when Bukola Saraki, his own son, went against him. He retired his dad. He retired his dad after inheriting his father's structures. And I predicted it that he had inherited the structures and I would defeat the man. And that was what happened. That's the only known occasion when he lost an election. Whatever he tells the people, they do. So those big people, including also religious leaders. What they
Still
tell
talking
the
about
people,
religion.
our people, they listen to them.
Yes.
In many parts of this country, big people, they listen to them, they tell them, this is where we are going, they go there. They go there. Even in my village, I've said it.
Yes.
They go there. So those people, when they are determining where they want to vote,
Yes.
they don't read the social
not on
media.
social media.
They are
People on
not
social media, a lot of them will not go out to vote on election day. They will say,
They'll be
TVC is
watching,
showing it.
Yeah, I'd rather monitor it.
Let's vote there. Or
What
some of their
results?
kids, they'll be playing football
On the
road.
street, yeah.
So, but these other people, they register people for election. They keep their PVCs with them. On election day, they will be going to
Door to
Door to door to give
bring
them
out
and
and
give
give them their PVC.
That's what they do.
They
Go
tell
on.
them where to vote, and they go there. I've personally been in situations when they bring such people in large numbers, and they will not talk to anybody. It is a person that is what it tells them. You can go
That's
and
what-
campaign to them. You are wasting your breath.
They already had the
They
mind
made up their minds. This is why they tell them. They say, "Okay, go." They will go and vote. They tell them where the ballot is located.
party
on
logo
the
and
ballot paper. They will just go. They vote.
And do-
And those are the people in the majority.
Yeah.
The rest of us, we make a lot of noise.
noise.
We speak so much grammar. We want to show that we went to school.
All right,
At the end of the day, we can't determine electoral.
Exactly.
No be
It will
cho,
just,
cho,
yes,
cho.
we'll go to TV stations and we'll be making some money. It is the Nigerian people versus the APC.
For real.
I thought it was the Nigerian.
Ghanaians. All right, gentlemen, it's a fine place for us to leave it. I support James. Beautiful
Yeah,
conversation.
thank you so much.
Mikio, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Welcome back. If you listen closely to that conversation between Babajide Kolade and the Asoko James, you realize this wasn't just a regular political update. This was a masterclass in the real politics of the Southwest. Let's peel back the layers of what was actually said. Babajide started by immediately refuting the APC candidate's dismissal of Governor Adeleke's popularity. Babajide was very clear. Both men are popular, but their popularity comes from different wells. What Babajide did here was highlight Bola Oyebamiji's socio-religious capital when he mentioned that Oyebamiji built 77 mosques and over 20 churches. He wasn't just listing charitable deeds. He was explaining a calculated electoral structure. In Nigerian politics, especially in the rural and semi-urban parts of Osun, religious institutions are the most effective command centers for voters. By building the CAN headquarters in Irewole, Oyebamiji isn't just a candidate, he is a benefactor to a massive organized voting bloc. This is a direct challenge to Adeleke's man of the people charm. One of the most intense moments in the clip was Babajide's blunt criticism of social media users, particularly those on X, formerly Twitter. He called them lazy thinkers who lack the capacity to think deeply. Now, look at the analysis behind that. Babajide is pointing out a recurring failure in Nigerian political commentary, the digital delusion. We often see candidates who trend months, yet can't win a single polling unit in their own ward. Babajide's argument is that while Adeleke's dancing and bulldozer nickname make for great viral content, the APC is working in the dark spaces, the villages and wards where the internet doesn't reach, but the influence of a community benefactor does. Asoko James provided the necessary pivot by focusing on Adeleke's performance. He specifically mentioned the roads and dual carriageways in places where people never expected to see them. What Asoko is saying is that Adeleke is building electoral insurance. For a long time, the narrative against the Adeleke family was that they were all vibe, no substance. By aggressively pursuing infrastructure projects, Adeleke is creating a physical argument for his re-election. Asoko's tone was objective. He didn't say these roads make Adeleke invincible, but he made it clear that the APC cannot simply walk back into Abare without overcoming the physical evidence of Adeleke's tenure. Perhaps the most sophisticated part of the discussion was the interpretation of President Tinubu's role. Babajide made a very bold prediction. He believed the president will remain neutral. Think about the weight of that statement. The APC candidate, Oyebamiji, claims he isn't relying on federal might, but Babajide explains why the president might keep his hand off. He referenced the 2018 Osun election and the Sokoto governorship race, where Tambuwal won by a few hundred votes. The implication here is that President Tinubu, as a veteran strategist, knows that forcing a victory can lead to long-term instability. More importantly, Babajide hinted at something subtle. Adeleke has been very diplomatic with the presidency. He hasn't been a thorn in Tinubu's side. If the president allows a free and fair fight, it shifts the burden back to the local APC structure. Can they defeat Adeleke on their own? That is the multi-billion naira question. Gbenga Oreshegun, the moderator, did an excellent job of playing the devil's advocate. He didn't allow the guests to simply praise the APC's grassroots work or the governor's road. He asked follow-up questions about validity, basically asking, is Oyebamiji's confidence actually backed by facts? The body language of the guests told its own story. Babajide was leaning in, using sharp, decisive hand movement. This suggests a high level of confidence in his source. He wasn't guessing. He wasn't reporting from the field. Asoko James was more reflective, leaning back slightly, which often indicates a more big picture analytical approach. He was weighing the APC structure against the governor's incumbency leverage. Finally, both analysts agreed on one thing: the margin of victory. They referenced the Sokoto Osun 2018 election to remind us that Osun is a state of photo finishes. What can we as ordinary Nigerians learn from this? This discussion teaches us that Osun is no longer a theater of one man. It is a state where performance, that is Adeleke, is clashing with structure and community investment. Oyebamiji. It tells us that the 2026 election will likely be decided by the unseen voters, those who turn post on X, but who remember whose money built their mosque or whose administration paved the road. It's a fascinating dynamic that suggests the incumbency factor is being met with an investment factor. Now, let's get into the gists of the matter. From my perspective, this is where we look beyond the headlines and try to understand the actual why behind the what. Speaking about this upcoming Osun election, I want to be very clear. I am indifferent to who occupies the government house in Abere after the election. If Governor Ademola Adeleke secures a second term, I don't have issues with that. It would mean the people of Osun are satisfied with his performance. If Bola Oyebamiji or Ambo manages to pull off an upset, good and fine. It would mean the APC successfully recalibrated their machine. My interest isn't in a particular person. It is in the logic of Nigerian politics. However, looking at the breakdown provided by Babajide and Asoko, I have to say they are absolutely right. Their analysis isn't based on sentiment. It is based on the historical and structural realities of the Southwest. Let's start with Babajide's critique of X, that is Twitter users and lazy thinkers. I believe this is a strong argument. In Nigeria, we have developed a digital delusion. We see a candidate trending. We see the memes, the dancing clip, and the viral videos, and we assume that translates to votes. But the reality is that the internet doesn't vote. PVCs do. Babajide is right to remind us that while Adeleke is bulldozing on camera, the APC is walking in the dark spaces. When you build 77 mosques and 20 churches, you are not just doing charity, you are building a human infrastructure. Every person who prays in those mosques or churches sees Oyebamiji as a benefactor. On election day, when the religious leaders speak, those people listen. That is a structural advantage that a viral dancing video simply cannot defeat. At the same time, Asoko James is right to point out that Adeleke has moved past just being a dancer. He is building roads and dual carriageways in places that were neglected for decades. This is Adeleke's political armor. Historically, the Adeleke family has been seen as populist, but not necessarily developmental. By paving roads, Adeleke is trying to peel away the middle ground voters, those who don't care about party politics, but care that their car doesn't break down on the way to work. My take: infrastructure is great, but as Asoko hinted, if you build the road, but don't settle the political gatekeepers, the road might lead you right out of office. I was particularly impressed by the discussion on President Tinubu. There's a popular belief that because the president is from the Southwest and is the leader of the APC, he will use the crushing weight of the federal government to win Osun at all costs. But Babajide offered a more sophisticated take, and I agree with him. President Tinubu is a long-term strategist. He knows that forcing a state can lead to a backlash. More importantly, Governor Adeleke has been very politically wise. He hasn't been an attack dog governor. He has maintained a respectful, almost cordial relationship with the presidency. If I were in Adeleke's shoe, that's exactly what I would do. Neutralize the federal might through diplomacy. If the president believes Adeleke isn't a threat to his 2027 ambition, he might just allow a fair fight. And if it is a fair fight, it becomes a context of who has the strongest local machine. If I have one disappointment with this discussion, it is that they didn't dive deep into the Oyetola factor. You cannot talk about an APC victory in Osun without discussing the former governor, Boyega Oyetola. Is the APC in Osun truly united? We know there were deep fractures between the Oyetola camp and the Arebeshola camp. Bola Oyebamiji is Oyetola's man. He was his commissioner for finance. If the Arebeshola factor remains aggrieved, all the mosques in the world might not be enough to bridge that gap. A divided house, regardless of its technocrats' depth, will always struggle against a popular, unified incumbency. The landscape of Osun is changing. People are no longer voting purely on party lines. They are looking at the bulldozer, Adeleke, and asking if his roads are enough to cover the economic hardship. They are looking at the quiet builder, Oyebamiji, and asking if he is just a proxy for the old guard. Supporters of Adeleke will tell you he has brought life back to the state. Critics will say it is all optics. Supporters of Oyebamiji will say he is a financial expert Osun needs to balance the book. Critics will say he lacks the charisma to lead. In the end, I agree with Babajide and Asoko that this will be a photo finish. Osun is the land of 10 margins. 2018 was decided by a few hundred votes. 2022 was equally intense. 2026 will not be a walkover for either side. It is going to be a battle between Adeleke's populism and the Oyebanji's community investment. It is a fascinating psychological test for the Osun voters. Do you vote for man who makes you happy today or the man who builds the foundation of your community over the years? I'll see you in the next video.